Hello and welcome to the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner, and today I have two wonderful guests, Aubrey Barnes and Ethelyn Baker from the Community Awareness Alliance. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Okay, well, thanks for coming. First, want everyone to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself. Aubrey, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Barnes. I'm not a native of Fayetteville, North Carolina. I did attend Bennett College, and then I moved here. Got married, and I have two wonderful children, and that's basically what I am. And then I'm doing community service, and that's basically who I am.
Okay, great. Ethelyn?
Well, I'm Ethelyn Holden Baker, and I'm a retired school teacher. I grew up in Fayetteville. I was born in Nashville, North Carolina, which is about 100 miles from here, east of Rocky Mount. And I'm a great-grandmother, great-grandmother. Have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. I consider myself a mid-octogenarian and proud to be here to pass my wisdom and knowledge on to the younger generation.
Wonderful, and we need you, Mama. Speaking of being a retired teacher, which school did you teach at?
Well, I started out in 1957. I graduated from Fayetteville State Teachers College at that time under Dr. Rudolph Jones, and I first taught at Armstrong School, which was all elementary, K through 12 at that time. And then I went, taught in Prince Edward County. That's a long story, part of the Board of Education versus Brown. They closed the public schools in 1959 and did not reopen them until 1964. But the last place I taught was in Washington, D.C. I retired from Washington, D.C. in 1998.
Okay, well, great. Thank you.
You're
okay,
welcome.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, Aubrey, tell me, how did you become a part of communities doing community service?
As I said, I have 2 children. Both of them graduated from E.E. Smith, as a matter of fact. And just being involved in their school activities and things of that nature, I got introduced to this organization. They were very helpful in helping my daughter obtain scholarships. And so as we began to attend the meetings, we found out that they were doing a lot of community service. At the time, the organization was focused specifically on education, which was about 3 years ago, but then we've merged and we decided to do things that were more, I guess, well-rounded as far as the community is concerned. And one of the things that we recognized is that because of the lifestyle of most people, there are a lot of things going on in the community they may not be aware of. They may not have the time to pay attention. So we try to, address issues that we think is important and that they should know about. And so that's why we're called Community Awareness Alliance.
Okay, where are you located, Aubrey, by chance?
We're located here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Most of our meetings occur at the library because, you know, we're still in the early stages.
Okay.
But we have a lot of our meetings at the headquarters library downtown Fayetteville.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. What is Community Awareness Alliance and your mission, and how did you become involved in advocacy for the homeless population?
Well, I became involved with the organization in 2017.
Okay.
The county commissioners decided that they would close the adult primary care clinic at the health department because of the budget crisis.
Okay.
And I believe that regardless of one's income, everyone should have health care. I feel entitled to health care. So when I heard about that, I decided I would try to seek an organization, a group of people who would help me get the health department of the adult clinic reopened on a full-time basis. So I went to a meeting and I learned about the community awareness. So we became involved and we were successful in getting the adult health clinic open full-time at the health department in March of last year.
Okay.
So at this point, it's open from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and from 8 until 2 on Friday. So we were successful in doing that. So that's how I became involved with the organization.
Where is the clinic located by chance?
It's located at the health department, which is located on Ramsey Street.
Okay.
And they are public health department, but it's part of the public health department. The
Okay.
primary adult clinic
Okay.
is part of that department.
And that's right, in terms of proximity, right by the Department of Social Services, so it's in that same area.
Okay. All right. Great. What is your guiding principle behind this movement, and who are the restorers of the streets to dwell in?
We have decided to hone in on a scripture, which is Isaiah 58, and particularly the verses 6 to 12. But particularly the last verse speaks of repairers of the breach and the restorers of the streets to dwell in. And we became cognizant of the conditions of the homeless people within our community, and we thought that that was fitting. Going downtown and seeing people not in shelter, or as some people have spoken and shared with us, there are buses identified as homeless buses for kids. The kids are attending school that are still facing these kinds of conditions, and we thought it was something that we should bring to the consciousness of the community, because there is not anything that we can resolve with ourselves. But we figured if we shared the information and brought it to the communities, to make them aware of it, that hopefully we can corral enough people to join together and try to do something with this issue.
And Aubrey, you're so correct. Every time I look up, I see a homeless person. Of course, they approach you, and I've bought meals and all and handed out money as well. And it is something that we really all, like you said, get together collaboratively and work to help them.
Yes.
We really do.
Yes.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about what is your plan of action, and how are you trying, other than doing the TV show, of course, what are some ways that you're trying to get others to come in and unite, and what's your plan or your vision for this? What would you like to do?
Okay, so right now our main focus, especially with this particular issue, is to heighten the awareness within the community. And so far we've done some, media, so to speak, radio stations and things like that. And Ms. Ethelyn, and there's another member of our organization, Brother Willie, his name is Willie Williams. They have gone down to City Council to address some of the issues. We've found out that there was some funding that was allocated from FEMA to either the county commissioners or the City Council. So they've been very forceful in their advocacy of identifying that this money is here, and to encourage them to try to do something to address the homeless issue. The main focus that we have at this point, well, one of the main focuses is we realize that there's a lot of revitalization of Fayetteville going on right now. And with that going on, and especially since homeless people tend to gather, not all of them, but a lot of them at the downtown area, we're thinking that if there was a facility, perhaps like a community day center, something where they could utilize, maybe put their lockers in and things of that nature, it won't be a conflict of interest necessarily, since you're having the idea to revitalize downtown, but have somewhere for them to go until we begin to resolve, some of the issues. Ms. Ethelyn came up with a wonderful idea. She has a program that she has written out and things of that nature that if we get past that point, we would like to consider as well. It's probably primarily for those who are in transition. It's called HELP, and she can probably speak about that a little bit more.
Yes, I would love to hear about that.
But, to help those who are transitioning, who are, probably able to get back to work and, can live on their own and different things like that. That would be the second step. But right now, to try to mitigate the issue, hopefully if we had a day center, they could use their lockers or use the restrooms, since, I believe that once they close the shelter during the daytime, they have nowhere to be housed or nowhere to stay until it's reopened. So therefore they flock, downtown towards the headquarters library, either for heat or to have somewhere to, be until the shelters reopen. So those are one of the initiatives that we're trying to encourage.
Maybe you can answer this for me. This is something I've always wanted to know. Why do they close it during the daytime?
Well, I think that they have to come in and sanitize the facility again, make sure beds are made, and because I don't think anyone is assigned to a bed per se.
Okay.
So you probably have to come, sanitize, clean, and for hygienic purposes and things of that nature.
Okay, I was just wondering. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay, all right. Now, Miss Evelyn, can you tell us a little bit about the program that she was talking about?
Well, I had gone, as was stated, Mr. Willie and I had gone before the city council to bring up the issue of homelessness, especially those who are unsheltered, because there are different types of homelessness, those who are sheltered and those who are unsheltered.
Exactly.
So in riding around the community, there's a lot of trash I see on the highways. And the city council talks about the gateway to the city and improving it. So I felt with perhaps people who are unsheltered will have a way of gaining income so they can get themselves on their feet, rather than persons thinking they're out begging and getting something for nothing. That would be a way of having getting them up, rather than say they're giving them something, rather than a handout.
Okay.
So I thought in terms of the fact that the city council, many of them, and particularly one is a minister on the city council, so they believe in compassion, supposed to be following Christ's teachings, love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's right.
So I decided I would go to them and present my idea, which I call HELP. It's an acronym for Hope Emerging Through Love and Patience,
Love it.
which is from the 7 spirits to love, patience. So I presented that to them, and they seemed very enthusiastic at the time I was there at the council. In fact, my particular council person, Dawkins, came to me and gave me his card and said he was very interested. So I told them I was going to send them a detailed outline, the details regarding it, because I didn't have time to tell them exactly how it would be done or implemented. So I sent all of them a copy of that, the way I would like for it to be done, or suggest them and they could work it out. But I never heard from them again regarding that. But that's my idea.
Okay.
And the persons, just give you just an example of how I felt they could earn an income. The city council could make an announcement, and they would be able to come and discuss it, and persons would be assigned certain areas. And to me, you probably know about sometimes people may go to a place early, and when people need help, they would come and tell the people and choose the persons to go with them on the job. I think Labor Force, for example, is a company here in Fayetteville. So it's based upon that idea.
Okay.
They would pick the persons up, take them to the various sites, just assign them to different sites
Okay.
for a particular time during that day, and they could work it out as far as helping them be able to save their money, to get themselves back on their feet. So this is just my idea of a way to help people, rather than go through different programs and say, we're going to study this. We already know it's homelessness. So what are you going to study? You don't need to study anything. Just start doing what we should do for the people.
Exactly.
That was my idea.
Irene, what would you say are some of the reasons why most people are homeless?
Well, I think there's just a variety. Life has a lot of dips and valleys and peaks.
Okay.
But I just think that there is not a will enough to not have that happen. I don't think that in a society that is as an economy, so to speak, as strong as ours. Not that I am a socialist or anything of that nature, but I just believe that there should be a value in society to value human life and the resources. And I think sometimes we take that for granted when we marginalize people and say, well, if you're not doing this and you're not doing that, then you're not a resource, so you can fall by the wayside. Because there are a lot of people who are without homes, like Ms. Evelyn said, whether they're sheltered or unsheltered, that have a lot of resources, very educated, talented, things of that nature, and they get lumped into this group, and then the resources that are no longer tapped into, and I believe that they can make a contribution. There's an organization, I don't have the name of the organization right now, but it's in New York. And so we also looked at what their program, and a lot of the businesses within the community are investing and they're building homes and they're addressing the problem head on. So their idea is that the cure to homelessness is putting people in homes. And once they get them in homes, they go through programs where they learn to, pay their bills, stand on their own 2 feet, and then they employ them to do the same within the community. And they're finding out, you may have teachers, you may have, there are just a lot of things.
Okay, and I want you to hold that thought, Aubrian.
Okay.
Okay. Viewing audience, once again, we have Aubrian Barnes and Ethelyn Baker from the Community Awareness Alliance. Thank you for viewing part 1 of the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner.
So very much hypnotized, familiar stranger, stranger.